Oh, I'm excited for this interview. Joining us today on behalf of Arise Music Festival, which is going down Friday, August 2nd through Sunday, August 4th at Sunrise Ranch in Loveland, Colorado. It's an independent, family-run, multi-genre music festival with electronic music, dance music, bluegrass, jam bands, rock and roll, reggae, funk, hip-hop, experimental, and world fusion. Plus, that's not all. Arise Music Festival is a musically diverse festival wonderland experience featuring 7 stages of live music, yoga workshops, theme camps, art gallery, installations. There's even a children's village, speakers, films, and camping on 100 beautiful Mountain Valley acres. It's all going down August 2nd through August 4th, and the Denver Post has quoted this as saying, "It's part Burning Man, pure Colorado." And joining us is the co-founder and producer of Arise Music Festival, Paul Bassis. How you doing, man? Thank you for being on the podcast.
Happy to be here with you. That was an amazing introduction. I'm exhausted thinking about it. Actually, it's energizing. I was joking when I said exhausted. It really does energize all of us who are part of this festival.
I'm energized doing the research. We just came on board. I don't know how much you know the background, but I've been working with Allie for the last couple of years. She's been contacting us, trying to get us as part of the event. And now that we finally got everything all worked out and that Yolo Rum is a part of the event, we are very excited and energized to be a part of it.
Yeah, well, we're stoked to have you. We're very selective about the brands that we will align with. Hey, wait a second. I just noticed you guys got some rum in front of you there. I don't have anything like that.
It's 4:00 on a Friday. Mr. Bassis needs his rum.
I do. So look, here's what I was about to say is that the Arise Festival is selective about who we align with. This is not the kind of festival we're going to see Pepsi logos or Bud Light logos. This is the kind of festival where you're going to get YOLO rum. And to align with Colorado brands that are also independent companies is a way that we all lift each other up as a community. And when we put our stamp on a brand like YOLO rum and we say to the people that we reach, this is part of your community, then that means something. This is your tribe.
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate being a part of it.
Have either of you guys been to the festival before?
Last year, right, Sam?
I have not.
You have not? Last year was Slightly Stupid.
Yeah, I was supposed to go last year because one of our guys in Florida used to do the tour management for Slightly Stupid. So we were supposed to go last year, and it didn't pan out for me. But
Oh, I was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I am so excited.
Okay.
This is the day.
We named it Arise for a reason. You know, everything that's going on there is tended to be uplifting. And we're very fortunate to be able to do a festival like this kind of festival in as beautiful a place as Sunrise Ranch. Now, Sam is at that disadvantage because he has not yet been, although in 2 weeks from now he will be. But having been there yourself, you know this is one of Colorado's, pristine, most beautiful places to have a camping festival.
But this is something for everyone to experience, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's funny when you were going through the genres of music, and this clearly is a multi-genre festival, and it was founded on the belief that most people don't just like one kind of music. What most people like is really good music. And most people have diverse tastes. And so bringing in musical diversity, was always one of the aspects of the festival that we thrived on. And we know that people in Colorado have diverse tastes and appreciate it. But can we say we have something for everyone? No, I wouldn't say so. But we have something for almost everyone.
Did you ever envision this coming together in the way that it has over the last few years?
Always. It's exactly how we envisioned it. There's a funny thing, we're promoters. So in marketing, there's a lot of things that you could do to get the word out. But there's one thing that money cannot buy, and that's word of mouth. And I know that's the same thing for you, the YOLO Rum brand, as it is for anybody in business, no matter what it is that you're doing. You can't buy word of mouth. You can't stop it either. So, our philosophy was always that if we keep giving people more and then there's so much that we do in putting together the festival, but then the other thing that we can't do is we can't bring what all the people bring, all that good energy, all those good vibes, all that kind of communication that people have and the sharing that goes on that might just happen out in the campgrounds. It's not even anything that we put together in terms of the programming and the music and the kinds of presentations that are going on there. This This is just people getting down with each other. And there's
Yeah.
not a lot of ways and places in our society where people are sharing, really engaging with each other. Like you could go to a Broncos game and maybe we're all rooting for the home team, but we're not really interacting with each other. You know, people might be wearing orange and blue, but they're not really sharing with each other other than there's a common experience they're sharing. You go to a camping festival like this where people are spending days together and they just open up, and then that aspect of the festival is just that. To me, that's the magic. That's something we have no control over. There's a lot of things we have control over. We don't have control over how people interact with each other, and that's some of the most beautiful aspect of what's going on.
No, that's amazing. I mean, we kind of have an interconnection with Slightly Stoopid. We were backstage with them and talked to Miles and all that, and that's how their vibe is as a band and just as a music genre. How do you decide, okay, this is the perfect reflection of Arise? This is the band that reflects it, or this is what the audience wants? Is it a toss-up? I mean, there's so many genres, like you said, that you're filling. How do you choose and determine all that?
The process of booking talent for a music festival is kind of a long process. There's a lot of factors, a lot of moving parts in that. You set out looking for acts that, we have a term that we like to use that are, here's the quotes, arisey, that we feel, people will resonate with, that they got that certain groove that moves people. And typically, we're also kind of aware whether or not the acts that we bring are good people, that they care about community, and they care about, this planet that we all share together, and they're people with a conscience, but mostly, it's got to have that groove. People do want to be in a environment where they feel really free and they could just let go, and it's not like going back to their regular life after the festival. It's like it's a breakaway. People don't have to come to these kind of festivals. We don't make them. They come because there's something that's there for them that they take away, and then they seem to be coming back because this festival is growing. And in fact, we think this year we're on target right now for the Arise Music Festival in year 7 to be the largest camping festival in the state of Colorado. It looks like we're going to surpass Telluride. As an independent family-run festival, which you had mentioned before, we do things a little bit differently. We do have that family vibe, and we really do enjoy the people that we're working with. And we know that if there's that kind of level of joy in putting this all together, by the time we open up the gates, people could feel that. And that matters. We pay attention to those things. We pay attention to how we treat people and how we care about people. And, there's no substitute for authenticity. And so it's never been a stretch to be authentic. We just are being ourselves. It's truly who we are.
Yeah, and I think that's the total reflection of Yolo, and it's a great fit to have Yolo part of this. And just as you'd mentioned that it's great for us to be a part of it, that's the way we feel about being able to work with you, being able to be part of this event. I mean, headliners like Tipper, Beats Antique, Railroad Earth, Leftover Salmon, SunSquabi, CloZee, Raising Appalachia. I mean, for us to be associated with something that huge, it's truly a privilege. And I mean, you're just such a good guy. I feel like the energy is just the same way for us as an independent brand as is for you guys.
I'm getting that feeling too. The only thing I feel bad about is that I don't have a glass of yellow rum in front of me right now on a Friday afternoon like you do. Of course, during the festival, I'm kind of like the designated driver. So, but come Monday, that's another story. We're really excited about the festival this year. It seems that, for whatever reason, and I'm sure there's lots of good ones, people are coming out in bigger numbers than they ever have before. I know we got a lot of acts on the lineup that people want to see, but there's always so much more going on at the Arise Festival beyond music that has increasingly seemed to become, from one year to the next, things that people are really interested in, like the yoga classes and the workshops and the play shops, where we'll put together headline musicians, some of the main stage artists, and they'll collaborate with other artists that they don't ordinarily sit down with together, and they'll talk about the process of writing a song, and then they'll go create something, and that's all in an intimate venue in the very beautiful 400-seat air-conditioned dome theater that we have in the middle of the 100 acres of the festival grounds. So all these other kinds of things that are going on at the festival, I think for those that come back every year, they have more and more looked forward to that kind of programming. For people who have never been before, I understand they don't know that exists, and all of the art and the art installations. They're going to be looking at the lineup and they're going to be going, whoa, Tipper, Beats Antique, Railroad Earth, Leftover Salmon, whatever it is that they're into. That's what's going to be the hook for them. But then they're going to discover some things that they didn't know was there for them to discover. And that's always exciting.
What is Sam asked this earlier before we were talking to you. What's your YOLO moment? What is that moment that you've experienced in the last 7 years that was, whoa, you were mind blown?
You call that a YOLO moment? Yeah, my YOLO moment's coming on Monday night. I already told you that.
Is there a moment that stands out to you though from the last 7 years of this event that just, I mean, if you were just going to encapsulate a memory that you could take with you, what's a moment that you look back on from the last 7 years that you'll always have with you?
That is such a good question that there's not an easy answer. Okay, because there's been so many moments. I mean, there are some incredible musical moments on that stage, on those stages. We have 7 stages. Some of them are very small stages, like we have live music with every yoga class. But then we've got a main stage, and there's just been some magical moments. And, I've been in the music business for over 3 decades, maybe even longer than that. And after a while, you know when the artists on stage are really experiencing that joyfulness of playing, and the audience are all in that groove with them, and everybody's moving together and everybody's feeling it. Those kinds of moments, and everybody's just so lit up. Those kinds of moments are precious because you just don't get that every day. And a festival is not a concert. There are concerts going on in the festival, but it's more than that, and a community develops. And sometimes for some of the people that come back every year, they camp near the people they camped with before, and they get to really know each other, and maybe they only see them once a year. I mean, when people are first arriving, that's always a special moment for me because I see how excited they are to be there. And when people are leaving, that's also a special moment for me. That's like we're going to Disneyland moment. Like I feel like we just won the Super Bowl. It's an exciting time because that these people are going back to their lives, whatever they might do. They might work in a bank. They may be a school teacher. They may be a student. They may be the president of the bank. I don't really know what they do, but they're going to go back a little bit changed. Having experienced, and I'm usually not the most esoteric guy in the room, but there's some feelings going on there that are very, let's just say, elevated. Okay.
Yeah.
As absolutely. I said, we named it Rise for a reason. And so, and I'm not immune to that. I also get lifted up by all of this. But to single out one particular memory over the course of the 7 years, too many of them. Many of them are musical. Some of them are just being in the trenches, working with the people I work with who care so much. They put so much heart and soul into doing their job, whatever their job might be, because we know that we're doing it together, and there's a spirit of everybody's got each other's back. So again, some people might just look at the lineup and they're excited about the music. And then there's other people who are excited about the music, but they're also thinking to themselves, this is a festival that plants a tree with every ticket sold. This is a festival that has all these cool brands as sponsors that are Colorado companies. And this is a festival that's leave no trace. Those kinds of things resonate with me. Those are core values that I share with this festival. The idea that children 12 and under are free, that's a core value. So it's more affordable for families, and also kids bring a very vital energy to this kind of thing. And that is something that makes it perhaps a little more unique than other kinds of festivals, is all those aspects.
And you touched on not banging people over the head with messages, but there are a lot of messages that are prevalent themes of the Arise Festival, and just going through all your literature. But I mean, to me, it's community, it's gathering together, it's making friends, sharing ideas, exchanging ideas, spirituality, consciousness, and just, improving yourself every single day and being a part of it, and being present and putting a smile on the next person's face. And for us at Yolo, it's, changing the world one rum cocktail at a time. So,
well, I'm listening to your words and I'm thinking these are not original concepts. Like the things that you were just expressing is probably as ancient as humanity. To gather around and to beat two sticks together and be in a groove together, be in a rhythm together, and gather around the fire, so to speak, metaphorically speaking, maybe in a more modern society that we live in, the music is that fire that we gather around. And I think this is something that's coded in our DNA that we yearn for, to be able to gather tribally, if you will, and to be able to share. And the other thing that's exciting is, for a festival this size, I think it's the only one in the country where in the campground, there's a farmer's market. All the food is organically grown within a couple hundred yards of where people are camping. And they're selling grass-fed beef there. And the cattle were raised in those pastures that are now the campgrounds where people are camping. And that those kinds of little touches, that brings that authenticity to what we're doing.
It's going to be an amazing time, and this was an amazing interview. As we just appreciate you coming on the Yolo Podcast and talking about it.
Well, we're really stoked to have Yolo at Arise. It's about time, we hope to make Yolo rum famous.